Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the radiant and colorful Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello. Welcome home, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thanks for holding down the whatever the phrase is, holding down the fort while I was out and about gallivanting across Norway. I was so appreciative of all of our friends who came in and stepped up and subbed in for me during that week. So thanks to everyone who joined you. That was
it was a
really
fun,
cool
open
to see.
relationship week. It was swinger week where you get to just to party with everybody that you always wanted to, but then you're like, I still miss my husband, you know?
Aww.
So it was good. It was romantic in the end.
Yeah, well, it was really wonderful seeing all those clips on social media and everything, and it was really cool to see all of our friends, and I was a little jealous. I was jealous that you got to ham it up with some of those folks, but I hope that you too go on vacation for a week, and then I will get to have the fun.
Don't you worry, you'll get your turn.
Good, because I want to have fun with our friends too.
Yeah, it was really fun. Kempire did a great job on this one. Love you, Kempire. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
We love Kempire. Yeah, because today we're talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Before we dive into that, next week we go to Seattle, and we are going to recap the season premiere of the Real Housewives of Miami. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. That is next Thursday. So go to watchwhatcrappens.com to get your tickets. And then the following Thursday on June 19th, we have the finale of the Mounting Hysteria Tour. It all comes to an end at the Henry Fonda Theater, or maybe just the Fonda Theater in Hollywood. We're not sure what we're
the Jane Fonda Theater?
Jane Fonda Theater,
I could do
maybe.
That. Little
it could
aerobics.
Be many things. We think we know what we're going to recap there, but we'll still give it like a week in case we change our mind or something. But get your tickets at watchwhatcrappens.com. These are going to be such fun final shows of our tour. Can't wait to see everyone. And of course, patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens. Get access to bonus episodes starting tomorrow, by the way, Ronnie. Love Island is back. Love Island USA with our sweet Ariana as the host. It is back. So what we did last year is that we just did sort of like 20-minute check-ins where we just kind of talked about what we watched. It's not full recaps, just like this, because if we did full recaps of Love Island, we would literally just like die.
That's a whole other industry.
That's a lot. But we're gonna check in
9 hours a week of pure hoery. No.
But what we will do is we will talk about the previous night's episode on Patreon pretty much every day. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a fun time. Anything else I have to announce? I'm rusty. I'm like, how do I do this again? What am I supposed to announce at the top of the show? Am I doing okay?
You nailed it. You nailed it, buddy.
Nailed it. I will say this. I got a lot of people who reached out about they want to hear about my Norway trip or whatever. I was kind of thinking, Ronnie, that what I might do is I might make like a little video where I just like go through, like, you know how like back in the old days when you took pictures on a trip, you did like a slideshow and you bored all your friends and family and make them like, but I was thinking maybe I could bore the internet with it, and maybe I just do like a little video and I can show people through my photos. So I think I might try to do that this week.
Yeah, make like a picture book.
Yeah, because it'll be too long for me to go on about every single thing. And you know I'm going to start going on about every single thing. But in a video on its own seperate video, I might just do that. So
do it.
The
make
little
a
Norway
series.
tour.
Why not?
Yeah.
Start your own Magnolia network.
Ben's Guide to Norway.
Bennolia in Norway.
Well, I'm so glad so this is my first time ever going on a tour group, and I'm so glad that a member of my Norwegian tour group, Fran, will be joining us in Seattle for the Seattle show, because she's from that area.
Shout out to Fran.
Fran!
Love it. Can't wait to meet you, Fran.
Yes, she's great. So anyway...
Cute. Yeah, dude.
Enough about
do
that.
a whole series so we can watch it, because watching all of your Instagram stories and stuff was just, that was magical. My goodness. I've never seen somebody eat so much fish. It's a lot of beautiful
It was
fish.
a lot of fish.
And really gorgeous food. My God.
It was amazing. Like the food was great. A lot of people ahead of the trip were like, does Norway really have good food? But I can tell you now, Norway has good food, and I ate a lot of it. It was basically a week of
food. People are such dicks. Yes, people like food everywhere, guys. Okay, everybody eats.
Yeah, It was basically like buttercream, 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 buttercream. I mean, it was
perfect.
It was wonderful.
So you went to Texas? You were in the South?
Wait a second.
Hey, wait a minute. Stop basing your meals on my Fitness Pal entries.
I was like, the roads were so wide. I couldn't believe it. I was surprised by all the billboards advertising Bible things. Imagine.
You just got scammed.
I just went to Texas instead of Norway.
They're like, this is jar of Schluckendig. It's mayonnaise. Okay, it's a jar of mayonnaise.
Flugendugen.
You can't trick me, Helga.
It was so good. But anyway, I know I felt like I was going to say all these fun things about Norway today, and now I'm like, I don't even know what to say.
So I'm just going to shoot your Norway load. Just let them unleash as they come up throughout the week. You know,
I know this is going to be the beginning of my new. Did I tell you I went to Norway phase? Right, like that's what's going to be for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it'll be like, well, when I was in
Norway, let me tell you, the forks aren't laid out the same way as they are in Norway. I'll tell you that.
I'm literally going to be that person for like a month. I'm already I'm going to apologize in advance, but I'm going to be like, well, in Norway, the way they watch TV is that they act what they do is they just take a herring and attach a antenna to it and see what they can see.
A herring with an antenna. You're just going to be like, I smell rain in the air, but oddly enough, it smells like Norwegian rain. Very distinct.
Ronnie, I can't help but notice a lot of sunlight coming through the windows behind you. You know, in Norway, the sun was out very late.
In Norway right
now. But what I will say is that today we're talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I watched my screener in an airport in Helsinki because I had a layover in Helsinki because I only got back from Norway last night, by the way. I'm basically still in Norway because I was in Norway, in case you didn't hear. And I have to say, there was something sort of weird and surreal about watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta in Helsinki at an airport. I don't know why. It just felt like strange to be like watching Bravo TV in the middle of like a foreign country.
When we traveled last year out of the country to do Crappens shows, I was watching shows in the airport and I was hiding the computer. Like I felt embarrassed in Europe to be watching Housewives because I feel like there's such a prevalent, like stupid Americans. And, we can argue about whether that's accurate or not. Well, this is not a conversation for that. But I was definitely like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm so stupid. So I was like hiding my housewives. And then I came back and I felt ashamed. I was like, why would you hide that?
Don't hide.
Be proud.
Be proud. Actually, what I will say, what was really so funny was that like one of the places that I went to, like where my little group tour began was a small city on the coast called Ullesund, and that was where Below Deck Adventure was based. And I was like, of course that's where it was based. Of course, everything, no matter what, comes back to Bravo. Even if I go to Norway, I'm like, oh, I'm going to where Below Deck Adventure was.
Yeah, I saw Captain Carey messaging you, being like, hello, mate, I see you're out having an adventure. You need any tips on the locals? Let me know. I know the best tin fish stops there are.
He did. He gave me some tips because I also made it my mission to recreate Faye's official Bravo bio photo there in Ullesund. So I found what looked to be the exact spot where she posed, and I found some random stranger. I said, "Excuse me, could you hold my camera? I'm trying to do a picture, and I'm also trying to make it look like this woman." And I showed her the picture of Faye standing there, like, "I'm Faye. Wear your hair down and makeup on your face when you're serving people."
Oh, that's really important in this town is lipstick and hairspray, ladies. Get out there. Get out there and impress. So let's get to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, we're celebrating one of my favorite housewives things this week, which is really rich people patting themselves on the back for taking a luxury trip and bagging some shit up for Goodwill. I mean, you would think these women donated their implants to starving children. I mean, I'm like, wow, you guys are really patting themselves on the shoulder really hard for this while they're packing for a luxury trip. They're like, it's really all about the charity. All right, yes. Take that money and give that to the poor people. Okay, then I'll be impressed. But as for the rest of it, we start with Shamia with Shia, and you see just massive boxes of little girl shit that they've packed up. And she's like, we're giving all this stuff away to charity because we're good people. And she's like, no, fuck poor people. I want to keep it.
It was so interesting because you know, on the one hand, it's like, this is so lovely that they're giving all these toys to the poor people. But then honestly, my first instinct was, why the fuck did they buy that many toys for that one little girl? She was stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks of toys.
Literal garage.
This is so excessive. Like you want a trophy for donating all this stuff, and yet like let's not overlook the insane overconsumption here. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is Housewives, though. You know, that's what it is. But it's like, yeah, they're like, we're such givers. It's like, guys.
Yeah.
I just imagine Melissa Gorga standing there at the donation center like, oh, here you go. Enjoy your used clothes.
From Envy. It's the overstock from Envy.
Yeah. And meanwhile, she's like, yeah, you know, my daughters are blessed, but I just don't want them growing up bratty. And cut to her kid with like, you know, a mile high stack of shit.
Yeah, and you know, the only reason why they're getting rid of that shit is because there's new shit to take its place. Like you cannot tell me that this kid now has no toys. Like she seems like a great little girl, but she's like, so wait, cute. This is too much. This is too much. I'm sorry. You should not have so many for one child. Although I guess I know she has more than one child, but it seemed like all these toys were really for Shia. And you should not have so many toys that they can fit in stacks and stacks and stacks all the way up to the roof of your garage. I'm sorry, it is too much.
Here's what you need. One good toy. So like when I was a kid, I mean, I had toys and stuff. It's not like I was so deprived, you know, I was a spoiled kid, but you need one good toy that you can have fun with forever. I had this toy box that was shaped like a big plastic football. And then I would shove my little sister in there, and then me and my friends would like roll her down the street in it, or we'd like push it down the stairs with her in it. Just get
ideally any sort of vessel that you can put another child into and roll them around somewhere. That's really all you need.
All you need is an abuse chamber for that sibling, you know, and then you've got fun that'll last for years because we're still laughing about it now. My sister laughs like this, so.
She's like still laughing about it to my therapist. I feel like a child could probably, I'm just trying to think of what I had. And like, I think I probably had, if you put it all together, maybe like 2 laundry baskets worth of toys, which I think is like a nice amount of variety or whatever. It's not a garage full. I mean, it's just at that point, you're spoiling your child.
Well, you know, if you can do it. It's America. Pay taxes, spoil my own child if I want to.
Spoil your child. Go have fun with it. But I also fully expect you to then, you know, you also have to foot the therapy bill later on. Okay.
Yeah. And then she makes her husband look really good, too, because she's like, well, you know, the thing is, I'm just a giver. Like, all I do is give. Like, I love charity, you know, and it's a bit of a tug of war, even with my husband, because I remember I pulled under the 285 bridge and I just started cooking an entirely separate meal for homeless people. Like, well, what does that mean? You pulled under the bridge? Like, were you cooking another meal for your family under the bridge? And then
was there a meal on top of the bridge that was happening?
She's like, I cooked an entirely separate meal for the homeless people. And my husband was like, get in the car right now. But I wouldn't, because you got to pay it forward. And the way I pay it forward is I drive under freeways, I pull out a George Foreman grill and get some hot dogs going. And I speed the fuck out of there.
Why did I feel like the story was not true or was embellished? Something about it just was too self-serving.
I just pulled up under the freeway and started cooking for the homeless. Oh, okay.
Did you bring a grill? Because she also makes it sound like it was spontaneous. Like she just pulled over and started cooking, and her husband was like, no, get back in the car. The implication is they were going somewhere. They were going off to the mall or something, and she's like, wait, I have to cook a meal. Was there like a homeless encampment at like
coming on? Get me out of this car right now. Get the foreman out of the trunk. I'm cooking right now for these homeless people.
Yeah, I just did not believe this. And like, I would love to be proven wrong. Show the photos. That would be one. And then I'll be like, you know what? That's great. I will eat my words just the way the people ate your food. But until then, I'm sorry. This just sounds like the biggest crock of shit. Like, no, you didn't pull over under the road, under the bypass and cooked a meal for everyone.
And then her husband didn't even know she was going to do it. That's the best part. Get back in the car. What are you doing? She just
that meant that she was driving around with ingredients and cooking materials and potentially a grill, or maybe she used some open fire that was already happening. But I just don't.
Some open fire. She just already used the trash fire or whatever.
Well, maybe she was coming back from Costco and she was like,
That's
you know what?
Funny. I'm sorry. It's just how it was worded was so funny. So now we enter the part where every housewife has to prove how charitable they are, because it's like a charity episode. And that's a big part of Housewives. So, or it used to be anyway. So they're like, well, I'm charitable. Oh, God, I just love giving stuff away. Housefuls of stuff. Just stuff. So much stuff. God, just last week I gave away so much stuff. I gave away so much last week. I hope I have enough left this week to give away. That's a lot of stuff.
So Cynthia donated stuff, and she was like, it was important for me to go and walk down the aisle and pick out all my supplies. So she shows up, and then someone arrives.
She had Peter in a box. They're like, this is not... You can't give this away. She's like, please, just take him. Like, he's going to jail soon. Just
it's his big ploy to get out of the country. He's like, wrap me up, make it seem like I'm supplies. Peter's Brew. She's like, here, surplus from Peter's Brew. It's just a bunch of beans, but like Peter has like a straw that's poking out above the beans so he can breathe, but he's really being smuggled out of the country.
Yeah, it's like some expired Peter's Brew fucking pods. Or like Chahil books, like a whole box of just leftover copies of Chahil.
Yeah. And then Drew sent someone to give something. And then Porscha says, like, I'm very philanthropic, so I definitely have sent in a donation. Which means that she did not give to this drive, but maybe she cut a check to the organization. But basically...
She sent a wig. She sent an old discarded wig. Like, she snatched off a borrowed wig from Lauren and put it in an envelope.
Well, I hope that Dennis sent some hot dogs, for crying out loud.
So they all talk about, and Angela said that she grew up, going to the Salvation Army because there was a program where inner city kids could eat. And so, it's a give back thing. So everybody's doing that.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
And then we get my favorite part of it all, the shame. The shame of Britt showing up and being like,
guys, it's been like so hard. I had the worst experience with my party planner, and so I brought some toilet paper.
And they're like, you just brought toilet paper?
She brought like one or two of the 4-packs. It wasn't even like one of those big old things that you have to put like a handle on out of Target. It was literally, she just went to CVS and found one. And she's such a liar. She's like,
girl, I have so much stuff, but I couldn't carry everything in the car, so I'm just gonna have somebody send it later.
I'm like, you mean so that 4-pack of toilet paper took up too much room in the back seat? Oh, okay. And she put it in a box to make it seem like it was more than it was, but they opened up the box.
And they totally called her out on it. They just opened it. And Shami was like, I see what you're doing. This is bare naked or whatever. The boxes are bare naked.
And Britt, by the way, Britt said,
I got a text from Shamia, and it was late notice that she wanted us to donate, so I got as much as I could.
She was like implying that like because Shamia told them so late, she couldn't donate more. I'm like, you're in your house. You just go around, you find some stuff. You can always find something to donate. Always.
Go to Drew's house. She'll have, because Drew didn't bring shit either. Drew brought like a Pop-Tart. Drew's like, here's a half-eaten Pop-Tart and a ring cam I stole out of Ralph's basement.
I know. She should have donated Ralph's keyboard.
The
I would love to
box.
see what it does.
even the needy people are like, I'm not taking this boom box. What the hell do I look like? Give me a purse.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, Britt is, one thing that we talked about a few weeks ago was when they went to Nashville and there was like some focus on the fact that Kelly arranged for Britt to get like some glam done by Paris, her person. We were like, this felt like it was setting up for some sort of issue with Britt being cheap or not paying something, and then it just sort of went away. But it looks like next week, according to the previews, it looks like the focus is coming back to Britt basically being cheap and not paying for shit. Yeah. And so I'm really excited on this front.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a little thread. They'll pick it up.
I'm hoping it ties back to Paris. I'm hoping.
Oh, Paris. Yeah, Paris seems like way worse than we've seen so far. So I'd like to see the full Paris effect.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Paris put her in, I'm assuming it was Paris that put Kelly in that outfit that she wore to Watch What Happens Live, but that's the same outfit that Phaedra wears in the opening of this show. And I'm so embarrassed because I feel like Phaedra did it first. If it was, I mean, it would have already been filmed, right? So
yeah, it would have been filmed. And so when you see that Kelly actually wore that outfit on Watch What Happens Live, it's like, really? Because it's such a really striking look for the opening, for Phaedra's look. So the fact that she would try to kind of like do it first, I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why did she even do
weird.
that?
And I was like, if I lived in Atlanta, I would look out and see if there was a head rolling down the street, like a head with a Kate Gosselin haircut. And it's just like Paris's head rolling down the street. Like, I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry, girl. Because you deserve it, girl. That was terrible. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, that's
so
bad.
then we get, we're talking about going to Grenada. And, you know, it's one of those like, we are girls. And so we're going to reset and renew because that's what this friend group needs.
Yeah. That's always the most hilarious thing that they do before a trip on every single Real Housewives show. Being like, there's been a lot of tension, so we're going to go on a group trip and we're just going to reset and be friends. I'm like, I think next year we might be hitting like year 20 of the Real Housewives. I'm not sure. Has the vacation ever healed anyone? Have we ever seen any healing?
Literal never.
Maybe the closest is when that one boring vacation, I think in Greece, where Cynthia made them like cast things into the water. But generally speaking, no healing on these things.
Yeah, no healing. This is not a show for healing. Okay. So heal in your off season. That's what I say. So Shamia's like, okay, you know, me and Porscha had a discussion and now we're getting along great because, you know, we kind of fought in a tea shop, but then I think Porscha took 5 teas to go or the food. Porscha's like, we are done here. I will take that food to go. And she just keeps eating it. They're taking the plate away and she's like grabbing food as it leaves.
I'll take hers too.
Yeah. And then Shia comes out and she announces that like, after this one, then that's the last box. And they're like, yay, Shia. So speaking of tea, now we go to Porscha and Drew going to a coffee shop to also have tea. And Porscha walks in and Drew is wearing this blonde wig. And so Porscha's like, oh, I didn't recognize you from the back. Which it turns out that was like her little jab because Drew is like not wearing go naked hair. Like apparently she's supposed to be, but not supposed to be at the same time.
Well, I think she quit doing it, and Porscha was trying to shade her wig. She's like, that's not go naked hair. But the producer's like, well, actually, she said it was because we saw Drew post on Instagram and tagged go naked hair. And she's like,
then it must be a mixture.
Yeah. She's calling her own wigs trash. Like she's self-burning, basically. So then they order tea. And this is all to have peace before the trip, right? So Drew has already ordered a tea. So she gets her tea, and then Porscha asks what tea they have. And the lady's like, we've got this tea, that tea. We've got some with ginger and turmeric. And then Drew's like, oh, my God, I need the ginger and turmeric, too, because this is free. So just please bring me a ginger and turmeric because I have vocal cords. I'm a very serious singer now. I'm basically Celine, so please get me some turmeric.
I'm losing my voice. I've been doing backup singing for Candace again. So I've been doing a lot of
yeah. And she says it like 10 times in the scene, like, oh, are you sure you don't have the turmeric? Because my voice, I'm a singer. Very, very big singer, huge. Oh, I can barely talk now. Is the air on? Oh, porcupine, 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 porcupine. Singer.
Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. She's sorry, I have to keep my instrument fresh because it is paying for your daughter's college. So Drew's like, well, I'm going to have an album release showcase. And I don't even know if you know, but I did sign my deal with Dennis. I'm like, what is happening? Are they working together? Are they not working together? I can't figure this out anymore.
Well, now they're working together again because last week she had this thing where she's like, okay, we're going to my record signing today. Okay. Well, we know what her record company is. So I was like, what's this thing going to be? How is she going to be signing for her record? But she goes to some office with her lawyer, and then she calls Dennis before they sign the deal so that Dennis can apologize to her. So Dennis apologizes. He's like, I never made it seem that way. I don't know what Portia's thinking. And so then she's like, oh my God, I signed my deal with Dennis. So at 1 minute she's saying she's going to sign her deal, like making it sound like it's the record company. But then it sounded like she was signing a deal through the lawyer for Dennis to produce the music for her. So I don't know, fucking Drew lies so much. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's really hard to follow, except just still, whenever I get confused, I just say, Ben, just remember, you don't have to worry about like the nitty gritty about this record deal. Just know that Drew is singing music that was produced by a hot dog salesman. Just always remember that. Make that your guiding light, and you will always be happy. So Portia's basically saying, like, you know, now Portia's decided that the fact that Drew is working with Dennis, like, with all the things going on in her life, this is on a scale of 1 to 10. This is just a 2. So she's, for whatever reason, this thing that she was so angry about all season, she's now dropped it down to a 2. And I have to believe that she has recalibrated it, because now she's had her petty moment where she filmed with Ralph a few weeks ago, and now like it's even. She did her petty thing, and now she doesn't care. She wants to move on, start a new fight with someone.
Yeah, because this fight's so stupid, and it's way late in the season to still be fighting over this. And I think even Portia's bored. You know, she's like, this isn't even fun. Let's move this along. So this is Bueller, my dog. He is on his way here from Texas. This lady's driving him. I'm so excited. He should be here today. But she sends me these pictures. Does he look like he is being held hostage?
I mean, most dogs technically, if they're on a leash, sort of look like that anyway, right? They just want to run free.
Get that fucking camera out of my face. I'm not gonna read your message on camera. Okay. He
looks more like when they saved Damian Lewis on the first episode of Homeland, and they were like pulled him out of a bunker in Iraq. And
yeah, they're like, is he a hero or a terrorist? That's how I'm going to be with Bueller when he comes home.
Has Bueller been radicalized?
I'm like, Bueller, we're going to have some sensitive conversations without you in the room. I don't know if I can trust you yet.
I always hated on that show. I think we discussed this. I always hated that that character's name like was Brody. Like his last name was Brody. Like his name was like Tom Brody or something like that. Not to be confused with Tom Brady. But everyone would call him Brody. I was like, okay, they always call him Brody because that's his last name. But then his wife would call him Brody. I'm like, what? Isn't it weird that you're Brody too? It always bothered me. Like the whole show, I hated that. She always be like, Brody.
All the things to bother you about Homeland. That's what really stuck in your craw.
Well, like, number one was that awful
terrorism and betrayal and cheating and psychological warfare. God, it really bugged me that they called that guy Brody.
I didn't like that she called him Brody because you're Brody too.
No, it makes sense.
I also hated that theme music.
That's what got you hung up.
Yeah, the theme music was terrible on that show. It drove me absolutely nuts.
Oh, the acid jazz.
Because
she's bipolar or whatever. They're like, bipolar people only hear things in acid jazz. The key of acid jazz.
Why couldn't they have hired Amy Grant to do it instead? Amy Grant doing the Homeland theme song. It'd just be a ballad. It'll be like, thought you were gone, but you came back to me. Mm-hmm.
Like, wait a minute, is this song about Jesus? What shit is this?
Oh. That's what love can do. They just use that song.
To have a time machine. So Porscha and Drew are having a tea fight, basically. She was like, ginger and turmeric. And the waiter's like, guess what? We're out. We gave her the last ginger and turmeric. Sorry. So you're going to have to pick something else. She goes, oh, no, you don't have ginger and turmeric, but my voice. Listen to it, my voice. And so she's like, okay, ma'am, I'll see if I can make you something. She goes, whatever you make me, just make it for my voice, really. And then she goes, not black tea. She goes, no, not black tea. And then so she brings her tea and she's like, okay. And now Drew's cheap ass has 2 free teas in front of her. And so she's like, what is this one? They're like, black tea. She's like, no, please.
I really need it for my voice. You know, I really need to tell me with my vocal cords. Drew, The tea is not going to help at this point. Okay, the ship has sailed. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Turmeric doesn't help tone.
that's right. That's right.
So Porscha, so they're talking about Dennis a little bit, and then it goes south pretty quickly. Portia's like, I was upset. I could have communicated better, but I know that you were supposed to be promoting your music on the show, and he said he wanted to clear his name, so I know that he did that with you on camera. But like, you're romantically linked. And she's like, what? And she goes, well, I mean, it's there. It's not like I did it. It's there. Like, you're romantically linked now. And she's like, that makes me feel very uncomfortable, both vocally and psychologically, because it's not real. It's not,
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you get ginger for turmeric, and you mentioned me filming with Dennis, and like, we're here to clear the air about that. And like, you've been filming with Ralph, and so then they show a clip of that. And Porscha is like,
No, I came to meet Shamia, and Shamia was already meeting with Ralph.
which is like,
wow.
yeah, you knew Ralph was going to be there.
Of course. What a coincidence. Wow. I just got there so quick, with all the camera crews and the call sheets. Had no idea. No idea.
And Porscha, who is always fond of walking out of a scene. I mean, she's been doing this for years. She will walk out of a scene if she doesn't want to do it anymore. She did not turn around when she saw Ralph. She did not say, oh, this is wrong. Okay. Because, she walked out of Kenya's spa day or whatever, her big flame out. So she'll walk out if she feels like something is wrong. But she definitely stayed and sat and got that meal with Ralph.
Yeah. Because, she even walks out of the scene. So, I think you're right. So Drew's like, oh, I'm listening to you. I want to give you the floor. And so Portia's like, well, Dennis just wanted to make it clear that I'm not the one. And, she's got somebody else in the first place. That guy Black. And she's like, Black? You mean my friend? She's like, oh, yeah, your friend Black? Really? Black? You're dating Black. Admit that you're dating Black. And she's like, what about you and Future? She's like, how dare you? How dare you say I'm dating Future? It's Shannon Bedore.
Oh, was that what?
How dare you accuse me of dating Future?
Future the Pearl.
Is that what I didn't realize that was the name that they were bleeping out. I love that. I figured it had to be someone important because like Black,
I think it was that.
Well, with Black, they blurred out his face, right? They showed a picture with Dennis and Drew and Black, right? Or was the guy who I thought was Dennis, was that Black?
I don't remember who they were blocking out of there, but they said Black, but then they wouldn't say Future. But yeah, there were roommates that she was dating Future. Simon had suspicions of Porscha sleeping with Future during their marriage. Adon.
Future is hot. I'm gonna support Porscha leaving Simon or having an affair with Future over Simon because
an old man's never gonna like the term Future anyway.
Oh, that's
in our
hilarious.
nature. Like our future is not bright.
Oh, goodness.
So now they're getting mad at each other about who they're accusing each other of dating because neither one of them wants this on TV. But Portia's like, you're dating somebody. And then Drew's like, okay, well, then you're dating somebody. So now it's who can be faker on TV and hide their boyfriend the best. So Drew's like, I'm not going to jeopardize my future with my kids to start dating. I'm not going to do that. And Portia's like, well, married people date all the time.
Right. And but Drew is like, no, I'm in a very messy divorce and you don't understand. It's very tricky. And, so I don't really need the smoke from you when it isn't real. Okay. Because that's the elephant in the room. Portia's like, okay. She's like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you, Drew. I'm really not. She's like, no one's arguing. We're just two grown women having discussions and me accusing you of dating Future, which, by the way, of course, at least, this is so Drew and Porscha because Portia's rumor is that she's linked to a music superstar and Drew's is she's just some random dude. Drew's doing music with hot dog makers and she doesn't, even her rumors are low rent.
Get better rumors. So then the waiter comes back and they're like, okay, ma'am, we finally got you a tea we think you're going to like. Here's your black tea. She's like, no, come on. So Porscha walks out of the scene and she's like, I'm not doing this. I've never even met Bleep. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Future, future, future. No, how dare you? So she leaves and that's just another Porscha walking out scene. And Drew just keeps talking over Porscha. And I don't know, it's silly, but it was still fun to watch. Drew pretending she's Celine Dion trying to get the property made my week. It made my week early.
I know. Not that she had any sort of singing gigs on the horizon. And I also thought she finished recording her album. I'm not sure. So like, what is happening here that you need to save your vocal cords for? You're also going to Grenada. So
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
now it's time to pack. Everyone's packing. So we see Britt, and she's talking to Mimosa, still trying to make Mimosa happen. And she's like,
I'm not leaving you, Mimosa. You know, if you hop in the suitcase, we're going to go together.
And then Shamia's mom is over at her house, and she's like, don't forget to carry your Bible with you. It's always good to have your Bible, just in case. Don't forget, we're good people. We carry Bibles in our suitcases and some Salisbury steaks in case we see poor people under a bridge.
just in case. And Shamia's like, you know what? You're right. Nothing like a good rebirth of Christ washing the sins away.
Then we go to Angela and Amari, and they're in one of her houses that's not selling. I feel so bad for her with these houses that aren't selling. Like every time we see one, she's like, I don't know why this isn't selling. We bought it for $300,000 and I'm selling it for $18 million. I mean, I just don't get it.
Do you think that maybe I should get rid of the portal to hell that's in the closet that took a little blonde girl? It's like, Mom, that's Poltergeist. No, what happened here too?
You need to stop letting your husband show those houses because, you know, he's just like, here's where we make Brussels sprouts. That's the whole house. Get the fuck out now.
I know.
You don't deserve this house. Get the fuck out of here.
But it is refreshing. I think I've seen a lot of people online saying how refreshing it is that Angela is not, she's not hiding away from how much debt she's in, because Amari, and just in general, she's like refreshed, like very honest about it. Because Amari's like, well, Mom, what would be your overall, average? What would be your rating for this house so far? And most housewives would say, well, this is an A+ property, right, America? But Angela goes, it's an F.
This sucks. So then we go over to Kelly's, and she's packing and she's talking to her girls, and she's like, Mommy's going on a girls trip, girls. And they're like, Mom, how long? Who's taking care of us? What are we doing? Where's Grenada? What's happening? And so their uncle's going to take them to school, and Uncle Lamont. And then she's like, you can't have him take us to our first day of school. They're going to think he's dad.
Yeah, they're horrified by this. So Uncle Lamont's not even their real uncle, just like a close friend. And so Kelly has to go tell him, like, okay, this is what it is, because you got to drop these kids off at this school, then these kids off at this school, and these kids off at this school. I like Kelly. I'm gonna have to politely request that if she gets another season, that we sunset the storylines about her children.
Just in general.
Let's a general note, like more waffle, less children. I do not care about how they get to school. It's not interesting or fascinating. I mean, I know that she's got a terrible custody battle going on, or dealing with her ex, and that's terrible, but it's all off camera. So I'm just listening to her talking about stuff that happens off camera all season long. And I do feel like she could be a really good housewife, and she started the season really well, but they've just kind of like put her in this rut of like, here I am talking to my daughters again, and and all the daughters being like, really, Mom? I don't think I need this anymore. So let's move on to the waffles. Let's focus on the waffles.
Waffles. I want waffle drama. Yeah, I need to see what's happening
Always.
in the restaurant, what's going on with construction. Have you started hiring
100%.
people? Yeah,
The griddle. Did the griddle break?
The griddle. I need to know about the griddle. I need to see the remodel, because remember, didn't they go to like an old Pizza Hut or something? And she's like, oh, I can't wait to use these old Parmesan shakers as, light bulbs or whatever she was going to do. Like, I want to see that.
I will literally watch anything about the waffle as long as I don't have to watch the daughters. And they seem like lovely daughters. It's not a commentary on the daughters. It's just, it's not interesting television to me. Like,
And shit, we do so much medically impressive stuff these days that I say just start giving birth to waffles.
now, if you had a storyline about when you have to drop off the waffles at school.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lamont
I'm
will
in.
get his ass there at 5 a.m. to pick up waffles.
Get the waffles. Waffle delivery. Okay.
That's how they'd get me to take the kids to school. Ronnie, you can eat this waffle once it's in the school driveway, and just tape a waffle to the child's head. I'll be there. Taking your child wherever you need to
I'll
go.
be there. You know, I
Looking
heard
for
that song
waffles.
was originally about waffles. I'll be there.
So
Now, that would also be a good Homeland theme song.
I'll be there. Terrorism. It's a great terrorism.
I'll be
show
there
song.
to protect you unless I'm radicalized. So the entire song is like, I'll be there, but will I really be there? It's like a radicalized anthem.
So Uncle Lamont has news, guys. He has FaceTimed the ex-husband. And she's like, excuse you? And he's like, yeah, because I'm still friends with him, kind of. And I know it's gotten bitter through the divorce, but, we had a good relationship. So I figured it's at least worth a call. And, I said, you and Kelly should get back in a good place. And he was like, no. And I said, but you should get in a good place for the kids. And he said, no. Look, well, the man's direct at least. Jeez.
So in summary, a person who's not really on the show FaceTimed with someone who's completely not on the show, and they talked about logistics about some children who are sometimes on the show, and he chose not to pick up those children. So that was...
And his only quote was Garcelle Bouvet's, no.
No.
Can't we
Kelly-
get along? No.
So Kelly is understandably upset because it's like she has to do everything, and it sucks to have this dad. And this guy's a piece of shit. I mean, he's a total piece of shit, like garbage person. And I will not deny that. And I'm never going to take this guy's side. But I don't know, like what does Bravo want me to do? Watching some other person talking about this person off camera. I'm like, we got to do something better than this. Kelly deserves better. She's more interesting than what they're giving her.
Yeah, my jury's still out on that one. I can't tell. I'm not a hater, but I'm still like, I'm not as into
That's
it.
more waffles would change everything.
More waffles.
Waffles.
Waffles are the magic.
Waffles.
Here.
Waffles are magic.
So she
all
cries
can
because
agree.
her ex-husband's a piece of shit. So understandable. So then we go to the airport. It's the arriving at the airport scene. And Portia's actually first, which is crazy. I think that's like a first in Real Housewives of Atlanta history where Portia's been the first one to arrive somewhere.
Yeah, maybe they gave her a different time or something like that. But yeah, they go there to that hellacious airport, I would like to add. And then they all...
Oh my
it's
God.
huge.
And they fuck with you on purpose in Atlanta. They'll be like, okay, here's your gate. Here's where you're landing and seat. So get to your flight in 10 minutes, 30 miles away, and take 10 trains and stop at a Wendy. I'm like, ma'am, what kind of map is this?
And they have a crazy shuttle. They have a crazy shuttle between terminals. You got to get in that little subway. And as you're approaching the terminal, it's like, you're approaching Terminal C. C is for chicken. Terminal C. Terminal B, like biscuit. Terminal B.
All right, now make your way down through Terminal B, take the train to Terminal Z. That'll U-turn into Terminal 2. We're just going to start numbering them now. Oh, whoops. Oh, sorry, guys. Z is closed. Z is closed. Please take a detour. Not going to tell you what that detour is, but I don't know. Maybe you can walk around in a circle with your eyes closed and hope you hit the gate. Okay, good luck.
You are currently at Terminal B for Big Mac, and up next will be Terminal M for McDLT, and then we have Terminal Q for Quarter Pounder with some cheese, and then Terminal F for Filet-O-Fish, Terminal H for hamburger, Terminal C again for cheeseburger, Terminal H, a Happy Meal.
Ben's like, what? It's 11:30 and still light outside. Am I in Norway? No, Ben, you're in the food court, Ben. Okay? You took the wrong left.
I never got
It
on
never
the plane.
gets dark in here. Just like Norway. The Subaru is still lit.
It's remarkable how Norway looks just like LAX. It's like, man, you never got on the plane. No, I'm pretty sure I flew somewhere.
You're still at LAX. Okay, so Angela meets Phaedra for the first time because Phaedra's back.
Yes.
And so Angela seems like she's pretty nice to Phaedra. Phaedra would be wise to be nice to Angela. I think it's a very bad move to start shit with Angela. Like, you need Angela on your side. She's a better age to be friends with, and she will rip these ladies apart with you. And you don't want to start truth bombs with Angela, because if you're trying not to talk about this candy shit, Angela, I think, will talk about it immediately. Like, I'm surprised she hasn't yet.
Yeah. Yeah, because Angela's like, this is my first time meeting Phaedra, and she seems like she's going to be a lot of fun, and so I'm willing to put all of the things I heard about her in the back of my mind just to get to know her for myself. But then Phaedra says, Angela's definitely the oldest looking young woman I've ever met. Hopefully her personality is more youthful than her face. I was like, wow, that was Phaedra Parks. I mean, it was kind of funny, but I was like, but I love Angela, so I don't know. I think you're what is it? You're hitching your ride to the wrong horse on this one.
Yeah, I do. I think so too. Or hitching your horse to the wrong wagon or whatever. But yeah, I think I think, of course, that was horrible to say, but I laughed. So I was glad.
I mean, I
at
laughed.
this point, I'm just glad to laugh. So I'm still okay. I'm still
Feels good to laugh again.
feels good to laugh again, guys. So Kelly's. I love Phaedra. I love Phaedra. So, she's like, is she going to revive a body on vacation? She's a funeral director.
So funny.
Yeah. So that's why I appreciate Phaedra, because you get like a Phaedra line that you're like, oh my God, that hurt. But it's also hilarious to a Kelly and then a Shamia. And I'm like, okay, I got to appreciate the Phaedra.
Yeah. So Shamia is saying, well, this lady wears a lot of hats, and if somebody needs to be bailed out of jail, she's going to be there to do it. And somebody needs to be framed for something, she'll be there to do it. Okay.
That was funny. So then Drew comes, and she's like, I'm so excited to go to the beach. Some of the ladies here, I mean, I just don't want drama. I just want rejuvenation.
I can't wait for that sea air.
Someone close the basement door, please. Close the basement door.
I thought that was her vocal cord warm up.
Ginger.
Ginger turmeric. Do you know when I was in ninth grade, I was in sleepaway camp, and I was in, of course, like the play, and the drama teacher said that to warm up, he was British. He was like, to warm up your mouth, you have to say red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. And he said that in America it's normally red leather, yellow leather, but that in Britain they go red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry.
Red lorry, yellow lorry, red yellow. Yeah, I can't do those.
I think yellow leather is harder.
I can't even do an ad read on this show. Half the time I'm I'm a tongue-tied person. My tongue's too big for that red lorry, yellow lorry shit.
By the way, we should bring in Fran to do an ad, because you know what? You know what Fran's a big fan of? Quince. She was like, I got this at Quince. I was like, Fran,
oh, hell yeah.
We're going to hire you
Fran.
to do our ads.
Yeah, hell yeah. We love some Quince over here, Fran.
So they have arrived. Yeah, they did it. They're in Grenada.
They are now in Grenada. Shamia's just throwing steaks at people's heads. And Shamia's luggage is gone. It did not get on the plane. And she's like, I hope the Bible's not in that one.
Oh, no. So somewhere back in Atlanta, there's a suitcase of mom outfits back there. I feel like Shamia always...
She doesn't have mom outfits, do you think?
Or auntie. They're like very... I don't know. I just feel like Shamia used to look so youthful, and now she dresses so matronly. Have you noticed that? It drives me nuts.
Matronly? I mean, I don't know what kind of matronly people you're around, but she was wearing jeans that were just kind of sewed together with a leather strap that went up her butt last week, I think.
But your mom doesn't wear that? Maybe it's just the hair. I just assume everything's matronly.
But yeah, her clothes are gone. Honestly, this whole cast right now could lose their suitcases, and I think I would be okay. They could bring in those 2 people from What Not to Wear. Just start with Kelly and work your way around.
Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, she doesn't have her bag, which does kind of suck because you're on camera and you're like excited about your looks, and then she's there in her like her yellow airplane travel look, and she's just stuck with it. But she's like, look, as long as I have my underwear, I'll be fine. I just don't want to have dirty, crusty underwear.
Congratulations, you've reached the end of part 1 of a 2-part recap. For part 2, go look for the recap that says part 2. See you over there, suckers.
Watch what Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King. It's always a party on Allison Block.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster.
She can run my country. It's Angie McGovern.
It's always automatic with Ashley Auto. Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offit.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Erin McNicholas. She don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones. I go, you go, we all go for Hugo. Jamie. She has no last namey.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Rigging the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets a name from us. It's Lindsay D.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry. We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love a ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna. It's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. Let's share with Sharon Eldridge. The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's go into the woods with Guy Tubbs.
Who, what, why, where, and Gwen Pentland.
It's our queen, it's Queen Laifah.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Hail the Cork Master, the Master of the Cork, Jennifer Corcoran. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony, Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
She gets an A, it's Kelly B.
We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley. We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron. She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy. Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose.
We're on the floor with Molly Dorsett. There's a chance of meatballs, it's Rebecca Cloud.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
It's always a good time when you're wasting time with Bravo.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.